Have you ever thought of living a life so rich in luxury and power that the mere thought of what you own could shake entire economies? Welcome to the world of Asia's wealthiest monarchs, men whose fortunes are so enormous it's almost impossible to comprehend. Today, we dive deep into the trillionaire lives of the kings and sultans whose wealth reaches unimaginable heights, built upon centuries-old empires and oil dynasties. These rulers don't just own vast land or glittering palaces. They control industries, influence nations, and live a life that most could only dream of. Let's explore the incredible riches of the top 10 richest Asian kings. Their net worths will leave you speechless. If there's one ruler who epitomizes the lavish life, it's Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah. This man isn't just a king. He's the living embodiment of wealth. Brunei, a tiny kingdom on the island of Borneo. But don't let its size fool you. When you step into the world of Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah, you're not just entering a royal palace. You're stepping into the realm of unbelievable wealth and endless luxury. This is a man whose net worth is estimated to be over $28 billion. And he doesn't just own wealth, he embodies it. Want to know what makes the Sultan so shocking? His lifestyle is like a scene from a royal fairy tale, but one that would leave even the richest billionaire speechless. How? Let's start with his palaces. Hassan al-Bolkiah's Istana Nurul Iman is a masterpiece, and by masterpiece, I mean it's the largest residential palace in the world. With 1,788 rooms, 257 bathrooms, and a private mosque that can accommodate 1,500 people, it's essentially a small city under one roof. But the Sultan didn't stop there. His palace is surrounded by 70 acres of manicured gardens, and his fleet of luxury cars. More than 7,000, including Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and even gold-plated Rolls-Royce. And you thought your garage was full. But wait, there's more. The Sultan's private jet is not just any jet. Oh no. It's a custom-made Boeing 747, often referred to as the Flying Palace. Imagine cruising across the skies with gold-plated interiors, a palatial master bedroom, and a state-of-the-art office to conduct business mid-flight. He's got it all, and it's not just for show. This man has built an empire. Hassanal Bolkiah's wealth doesn't just sit in personal luxury. His reign is built on Brunei's vast oil wealth. The small nation's oil and gas resources make up nearly 90% of its GDP. Brunei is one of the richest countries per capita in the world, and the Sultan has cleverly positioned himself as the owner of this wealth. With a sovereign wealth fund that exceeds $40 billion, his influence stretches far beyond the palace gates. When he's not flaunting his wealth, the Sultan is actively involved in sports and charitable causes. He owns an elite football team, and Brunei's royal family is known for supporting various humanitarian initiatives. The Sultan is also famous for his extensive art collection, which includes rare treasures and antique jewelry. But what's truly fascinating is his ability to maintain a low profile while still ruling over one of the most powerful empires in Southeast Asia. So, while the world may wonder how it's possible for someone to live like this, one thing is for sure. Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah has set the gold standard for living royally. Then there's King Maha Vajiralongkorn of Thailand, also known as Rama X. His wealth isn't just about what he owns, it's about the influence he wields over an entire nation. This king, who ascended the throne in 2016, controls the country's vast lands holdings, state assets, and even the most lucrative businesses. The Crown Property Bureau is at the heart of Vajiralongkorn's fortune. This powerful institution manages assets worth billions of dollars. Think about this. The king has direct control over land, investments, and stakes in major corporations like Siam Commercial Bank. His wealth is not just about owning things. It's about controlling everything that's important in Thailand's economy. Name it. From private jets to palatial homes in Thailand and Germany, the king's lifestyle is pure luxury. His private fleet of jets include a Boeing 747. Yes, you heard that right. And when it comes to cars, Bentleys and Rolls-Royces are his preferred choice. He spent millions on private estates, and it's said that his German residence is just another chapter in his extravagant life. You might know Dubai for its gold dispensing ATMs or sky-piercing towers, but behind the glitz is a mastermind of unimaginable wealth and influence. And it's Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the president of the United Arab Emirates and the ruler of Abu Dhabi. Let's not sugarcoat it. This man is a geopolitical genius and a financial titan. With a net worth estimated to hover around $300 billion, he is one of the most powerful men in the Middle East. And he didn't get there by sitting on a velvet throne. Known as MBZ, this ruler controls Abu Dhabi's oil wealth, the Emirates Armed Forces, and most importantly, the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, one of the world's largest sovereign wealth funds. We're talking about over $853 billion in global investments. From luxury real estate in New York and London to major stakes in companies like SpaceX and Uber, if it prints money, MBZ probably has a share in it. But hey, it's not just the money, it's how he wields it. While other leaders play politics, MBZ plays global chess. He's aligned the UAE as a modern, futuristic hub, pouring billions into clean energy, artificial intelligence, and tech innovation. His vision is to turn the desert into a silicon oasis. And if you see the Masdar city, the world's first planned sustainable eco-city, you'll realize this man doesn't just dream, he builds. Now, let's talk personal luxury. His palace in Abu Dhabi is rumored to be the size of a small town, with private beaches, fountains that dance to music, and imported marble from Italy, Spain, and beyond. But MBZ doesn't just stay grounded. His private jet collection, including a custom Boeing 747, is basically a 5-star hotel in the sky. And when he lands, it's often on a private island because, yes, he owns a few. He's also one of the most generous kings in the region, donating billions to global health, education, and development projects. But don't mistake kindness for softness. He's known for his iron will, strategic alliances, and military precision. When MBZ makes a move, it sends shockwaves across the region. But here's the twist, he's not flashy. While other royals flex their watches and cars, MBZ stays reserved, focused, and deeply respected. His true wealth lies in his control, his vision, and his unshakable place on the global stage. Let's be honest, when you hear the word limitless wealth, you're probably thinking of King Salman of Saudi Arabia. And for a good reason. This isn't just a king. This is a man who sits on top of the largest oil reserve in the world. He doesn't just control a country, he controls an entire economy. Born in 1935, King Salman inherited not just a throne, but a dynasty worth over $1.4 trillion. You heard that right. The House of Saud, one of the richest royal families in human history, has stakes in everything from real estate and tech investment to Aramco, the oil giant worth over $2 trillion. This makes King Salman not just powerful but almost untouchable. And his son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is no sidekick. Together, they've transformed Saudi Arabia from a conservative desert kingdom into a global power player with mega projects like Nahyan, a futuristic $500 billion city being built from scratch in the middle of the desert. Why? Because when you have oil flowing like water, you don't just build cities, you build dreams. Now, let's talk lifestyle. Private planes. Try an entire fleet. Palaces? He owns over 10. Each outfitted with gold ceilings, hand-woven Persian rugs, and chandeliers that could pay off your student loans 8,000 times over. But the real gist, King Salman once booked out the entire Four Seasons Hotel in Washington, D.C. for his entourage during a diplomatic trip. He didn't just book the rooms, he brought his own furniture. And then there's the infamous yacht Serene, reportedly bought by MBS for $500 million. Complete with 2 helipads, a submarine, a saltwater swimming pool, and an underwater viewing room. When you rule the oil kingdom, this is just your weekend toy. But King Salman's influence isn't just about luxury, it's global. He has the power to influence oil prices with a single decision. When he speaks, markets listen. When he invests, nations follow. And when he spends, he rewrites what it means to be rich. So next time you fill your tank, remember, a fraction of that money somewhere, somehow trickles back to King Salman, the oil king. You might think royalty is all tradition and titles, but Sultan Abdullah Sultan Ahmad Shah is living proof that being king in the 21st century can come with serious financial power. He's not just Malaysia's ceremonial figurehead. He's a billionaire with influence that stretches far beyond royal palaces and national anthems. Now, here's the twist you never saw coming. Sultan Abdullah's real financial muscle doesn't come from a flashy oil empire or global investments. His wealth is deeply rooted in the sprawling state of Pahang, where he rules not just a king, but as a constitutional monarch with vast traditional authority. And while Malaysia rotates its monarchy every 5 years, when Sultan Abdullah took the throne in 2019, the world took notice. What makes this king so unique is the quiet empire behind the scenes. He's got his hands in property, state-linked enterprises, and royal trusts. It's estimated that his family's combined wealth is in the billions, although official figures are a closely guarded secret. But let's look at the signs. Multiple lavish palaces, fleets of luxury cars, and elite security details that cost millions annually. But it's not just about opulence. Sultan Abdullah is also known for his investments in sports, education, and international diplomacy. He once served on FIFA's council, rubbing shoulders with global billionaires and decision-makers. That kind of networking, you would say, is priceless. From the Istana Negara Palace, where golden thrones glitter under chandeliers worth more than your average mansion, Sultan Abdullah balances tradition with modern wealth building, earning him a place among Asia's quiet but powerful royal tycoons. Once hailed as a living god, Gyanendra Shah was the last king of Nepal before the monarchy was abolished in 2008. But don't be fooled by the word former, because this ex-monarch still lives like royalty. And when it comes to wealth, he's got more than just palaces and titles. He has business acumen that most kings would envy. Gyanendra didn't just inherit royal luxuries, he built empires. Before becoming king, he was a sharp businessman with holdings in major Nepali enterprises. He had investments in tea estates, hotels, media, telecom companies, and even the largest cigarette manufacturing company in Nepal. That's right, the man once known as His Majesty was also his monopoly in many sectors of Nepal's economy. During his reign, Gyanendra was estimated to control assets worth over $200 million, though some believe the number could be much higher due to hidden investments and properties under aliases. He owned lavish properties across Kathmandu, including the Narayan Heti Palace, once the nerve center of Nepalese royalty and now a museum. And here's where it gets really interesting. Despite being dethroned and having many assets nationalized, Gyanendra never really faded into poverty. He simply shifted gears. In the years following the fall of the monarchy, he continued to live a life of comfort, surrounded by private security, expensive vehicles, and homes that look straight out of a royal fantasy. There's even talk of a comeback, as Gyanendra remains a revered figure for many monarchist supporters in Nepal. His public appearances still draw thousands, and his statements on national unity stir waves across the political landscape. He may not wear the crown anymore, but his wealth and his quiet influence still place him among the most intriguing and powerful royals in Asia. He's the royal you probably haven't heard much about, but make no mistake. King Norodom Sihamoni of Cambodia lives a life surrounded by quiet riches and ancient power. Unlike many kings on this list, King Sihamoni doesn't flaunt his wealth. He's not known for private jets or sprawling global investments. But beneath the surface lies a royal lineage that controls some of Cambodia's most prized assets, including lands, palaces, and deep-rooted influence in cultural institutions. The Cambodian monarchy, while symbolic, still holds incredible sway. The royal family is linked to powerful business groups, development projects, and discrete land holdings across Phnom Penh and Siem Reap, home to Angkor Wat, a UNESCO treasure. These areas are gold mines for tourism and development, with royal interests strategically placed. Insiders estimate the Cambodian royal family's net worth could stretch into the hundreds of millions, especially considering the value of untaxed properties, royal foundations, and artifacts. And let's not forget, the royal family doesn't pay for much. Everything from travel to security to luxury accommodations is state-funded. While King Sihamoni presents himself as a soft-spoken cultural figure, often spotted attending ballet events or hosting humanitarian missions, his position at the heart of Cambodia's monarchy means he sits atop a pyramid of quiet power and inherited wealth that most people never get to see. Here's a king who blends Bond-style charisma with billionaire wealth. King Abdullah II of Jordan doesn't just rule a strategic nation in the Middle East. He reigns over a royal fortune that combines ancient family wealth, modern investments, and military dominance. Educated in the US and UK, trained in elite military schools, and a die-hard Star Trek fan, Abdullah II is anything but your average monarch. And when it comes to wealth, he's one of the most discreet yet powerful players in the region. Jordan's royal family controls some of the country's largest companies, from telecoms and banking to energy and land holdings. The king himself has been linked to offshore properties worth tens of millions according to leaked documents. But what's more impressive is the king's ability to attract billions in foreign investments and aid, positioning himself as both a modernizer and a gatekeeper. His private portfolio includes luxury homes in the US and UK, vast estates in Oman, and a fleet of armored vehicles and helicopters. His personal net worth is estimated at around $750 million to over $1 billion. Though, like most monarchs, the real number is buried under layers of secrecy. Abdullah II has mastered the art of balancing Western diplomacy with regional influence, and that makes him not just a rich monarch but a deeply strategic one. When you hear Qatar, think of wealth on a mind-bending scale. At the center of this gas-fueled kingdom is Emir Tamim bin Hamad al-Thani, a ruler who commands a fortune that's almost too large to imagine. Tamim is the youngest sovereign in the Gulf but holds the keys to one of the richest royal families in the world. The house of Thani is estimated to be worth over $335 billion. That's not a mistake. You heard that right. And it's not just oil money. It's skyscrapers in London, stakes in Barclays and Volkswagen, entire city blocks in Paris, and ownerships of Harrods. You name it, they probably own a piece of it. Tamim himself, personal palaces, a super yacht worth $300 million, a private jet fleet, and a lifestyle that includes billion-dollar art collections and rare cars. And while he keeps a low profile, do not be deceived. He's the man behind Qatar's global ambitions. From hosting the 2022 World Cup to investing in the world's most elite media networks and real estate empires, Tamim has his hands on the global economy steering wheel. And guess what? The wealth is growing. With Qatar's gas reserves expecting to remain a key player for decades and Tamim's shrewd leadership in diplomacy, tech, and luxury assets, this royal is just getting started. Don't be fooled by his calm demeanor. Sultan Haitham bin Tariq Al Said might not dominate headlines like other Gulf royals, but behind closed palace doors, he holds the reins of an ancient dynasty with staggering wealth and immense power. Taking over the throne in 2020 after the passing of his cousin, Sultan Qaboos, Haitham inherited more than just a crown. He stepped into control of billions in national and private royal assets that span across oil reserves, land holdings, sovereign wealth funds, and global investments. The estimated net worth of the Omani royal family sits between $20 to $30 billion, and Sultan Haitham is now the custodian of that fortune. His lifestyle is subtly luxurious. While Oman maintains a more reserved image compared to flashy neighbors like Qatar and the UAE, the Sultan resides in opulent palaces adorned with gold and marble, hosts world leaders in regal majlises, and commands a fleet of high-end cars and private jets. But here's what really sets him apart. Haitham isn't just sitting on oil money. He's been actively reshaping Oman's economy under a bold vision called Oman Vision 2040. This strategic plan is designed to diversify the nation's wealth away from oil dependency and invest heavily in logistics, tourism, technology, and infrastructure. In short, he's not just spending the money, he's multiplying it. Under his leadership, Oman's sovereign wealth fund has become a key player in global investments, acquiring stakes in everything from European infrastructure to tech firms in Asia. And unlike other royals who prefer to stay out of the spotlight, Sultan Haitham is directly involved in policy, trade negotiations, and economic reforms, cementing his role as both ruler and strategist. And let's not forget heritage. Sultan Haytham comes from a dynasty that dates back centuries, with deep tribal loyalty and influence that spans every corner of Oman. That kind of generational power doesn't just translate into tradition. It translates into unshakable control over one of the Middle East's most stable monarchies. Quietly but unmistakably, he's building a modern empire from the sands of one of the oldest kingdoms in the region. Who knew being royal came with this much bling? Which of them do you envy? Share your thoughts with us. See you next time.